anything odd or crazy happen in the last minute. And yeah, Warlock wins 3-1 in the preliminary voting, so that is superb. We'll start with that class. Good class, fun class. And Ferox Verbis says, so I'm Ferox Verbis and I'm addicted to Hearthstone. Yeah. Welcome to a big club, Hearthstone. Pretty spectacular game. And this will be a little bit of a longer stream. We're going to go until 5 o'clock Hearthstone time, so it'll be a pretty long one. Therefore, I will take a break at some point to eat some lunch/breakfast. I think it's called brunch if you intentionally combine them. And it's just blunch, as I like to call it, if you're just being lazy. Anyway, we're starting off with a pretty good rare pick. Sunfree Protector is a card I'm just learning to appreciate more and more and more because it's good early on as a drop, just a 2/3 for 2, but later in the game it still has value. However, here I'm going to take an Azure Drake because it's just a really solid card, and spell damage can be amazing for Warlocks. Okay, so we could take Drain Life, one of the worst removal spells of all time, or we could take Elven Archer, one of the best cards in the entire game, or we could take this crappy 4-drop. Well, let's take a 4-drop just for curve reasons. Alright, here we have a premier pick. We've got a really great 1-drop, really great 3-drop, and then this removal spell. Now, the thing about Soulfire is the more of them you have in your deck, the worse it gets. So I kind of hesitate to take one this early on, but I'm going to take it anyway because I just want to make sure I have one in the deck. It's a good finisher, it's good killer, it's just great. Alright, here I'm going to take Scarlet Crusader. There are some things that will answer this. However, it's just a really obnoxious minion to answer, and I find that very frequently now, the way that things shape up in the arena, I find myself praying all the time that my opponent does not drop Scarlet Crusader and does not drop Harvest Golem is the other one. So we're going to go ahead and just grab the Scarlet Crusader here. Okay, well here's where the Warlock class rears its ugly head. If I'd been playing some other class, I might be seeing cards like Lightning Storm, or Blizzard, or I don't know. And here we're seeing 2 Junker Nuggets. I really hate the Void Terror a lot. It just never seems to work. So I'm going to take Felguard, even though it's a little bit crazy. It's just like an almost strictly worse version of Ascension Shieldmaster. I'm going to grab it. It still can be okay sometimes. Okay, so the Succubus is awful. I could take this for some endgame, but I'm going to take a Wolf. I do still need 2-drops, and this is a pretty decent one. It has value later in the game as well. Blood Imp is a card that's just not that good. It's just a bad card. I find that I really don't get much value out of it. So we'll take Demon Fire, although I don't have any demons, and this will just be like a... Well, I have Felguard. So this will just be like a 2 damage for 2 mana. 2 damage for 2 mana is sometimes all you need, so we'll grab that up. Okay, so we could take Donner and Mage. The spell damage is nice for Warlock sometimes, but I'll also grab a Shadow Bolt. It answers a lot of decent things. So here we could take another Scarlet Crusader, but I'm going to actually grab the Grizzly because the Grizzly is quite underrated, I think. A 3/3 for 3 is sometimes all you need, and the taunt can really protect your stuff. Main issue now is I need some early plays. All right. Dixie Cody says Blood Imp wins games against me all the time. I'll think about it. I feel like I've been giving it a fair shake. Basically, I drafted it with roughly the same frequency after the nerf as before the nerf, and it seems to have really gotten a lot worse. But we'll see. I'll grab a Pit Lord here. I think this is a fine card. 5/6 for 4 is pretty great, although usually I'd rather just have a Chillwind Yeti. So here is an unfortunate moment. I have a lot of 3-drops already. I have almost no 2-drops. So I'm going to take the Murloc Tidehunter, even though it's worse than the Grizzly in the abstract. And it's not a good 2-drop at all. I just need 2-drops here. Okay, well... I need 1-drops and I need endgame. I'm going to take endgame because I feel like I need some right now. I don't have anything other than really the Pit Lord. And that's going to be important to have that more so than it is to have some 1-drops, I think. Alright, similarly here we'll take a Boulder Fist Ogre. Okay, pretty lucky here. Since I have some endgame, I don't need to take this Ravenholt Assassin. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Siphon Soul. This is the Warlock's only 1-click removal, so that's nice to get. Ah, Jesus. Wow, this is terrible. I'm going to take an Owl for some silence. Alright, so here we go. We have another opportunity for Soulfire. 2 of them is alright. You can play with 2 of them. It just sucks if you draw them both, but if you don't draw them both, it's pretty great. We'll take one. I mean, the Bloodsail Raider is okay. It's just a 2/3 for 2. Ah, Senjin or Argent Squire. Both are great. I don't have any 1-drops yet. But I don't have that many 4-drops either, just 2. And Senjin's great, and it's taunt, so we'll take it. Alright, here we get the 2 crabby kind of giants. I do not like either of these. Twisting Nether Twisting Nether, I hardly know her. Anyway, this could be a play late in the game as like a reset button. Yeah, we'll take a Molten Giant here. I hate the Mountain Giant the most, I think, but it was a tough call. Alright, Corruption is awful. I'm not going to take it, so I could take a Ghoul, or I could take the Infiltrator. Let's grab the Infiltrator. Let's just have some 1-drops, shall we? Just at least one. Alright, so earlier someone was saying that Mind Control Tech has won them some games. It's won me some games, too. I mean, and it's a 3-3 for 3, so it's never terrible. The Ravenhold Assassin, I don't feel like I need in this deck. I've got, 3 big dudes. 4 if you count the Pit Lord. So I don't know if I really want this card. We'll take a Pint-Sized Summoner there, maybe try to cheat out Ascension. Here's a good one. Harvest Golem, always a card I pray my opponents won't play, so I'll take it myself. And the Dark Iron Dwarf's probably the best card here, but I'm actually going to grab Dark Scale Healer because, first of all, I could do some 5-drops, and second of all, I could do some heals. I don't have any heals in this deck, and it's nice to get some of those in there. Alright, well, Fen Creeper's decent, but I'll take a Flame Imp. It's nice to have one early drop available. And in fact, I have enough with Flame Imp, Infiltrator, Wolf, Tidehunter, and Summoner. I think I have enough 2-drops. We'll take another Healer. Go for more of an endgame focus in this deck. Okay, so here's a tricky moment. Do you take the Senjin Shieldmaster for more taunt, and it's just because it's the best card here, or do you shore up your early game a little bit with Loot Hoarder or the Voidwalker? I'll take Ascension. This is a bit greedy, though. That could bite me, curve-wise. And I'm going to take the cheapest card here, because I've got like a pretty thick curve in the mid-game. Third Soulfire I don't want, so I'll take a Cleric over the Deckhand. And unfortunately, I was not able to get another 2-drop or 1-drop, so this is pretty abysmal. Well, the Chicken, I can't buff it at all, except for with Shattered Sun Cleric, so I'm not going to take the Chicken. This thing, I don't have any synergy, except for the Golem, I guess? I can eat the Golem. There's just no synergy with that. I guess we're taking Cold Light Oracle and just hoping I never draw it. And I still cannot get a 2 or 1-drop. In fact, we're getting like the worst mana cost, which is 3. 3 is like, I think, the worst mana cost to spike. We'll take another Dalaran Mage for some more synergy with our Soulfires, I guess. And speaking of the worst card, of the worst mana cost, okay. I think that this draft went pretty badly because the curve just never quite panned out. There is a little bit of early game, but not as much as I would like. Lots of a mid game and end game, but this spike at 3 mana is just abysmal. Oh man, a few people are talking about FTL Advanced Edition. Those of you who have been with me for a long time know that I've actually got some FTL videos early up on this channel. Seems like there's a lot of new features that are really important now. Alright, what I'm going to do here, as much as I hate to, I'm going to keep Soulfire just in case I need some early removal. And then we're going to Life Tap on turn 2, it seems, and Harvest Golem on turn 3, hopefully, if I don't end up throwing it away with Soulfire. I wouldn't mind throwing away this Falguard. Boba says, I took a Mana Addict over a Cold Light yesterday, and I'm glad I did. It dealt like 15 damage to the other hero. I have definitely had Mana Addict be an MVP in the arena. But one of the main ways it was an MVP was that a priest thought stole it twice. Alright, here we go. Getting all the 3-drops. 3 is just like the absolute worst. Yeah, it's like the worst mana cost to spike. Well, other than like 8. I guess if you have a spike at 8 mana, you'll also be in trouble. But it's just, I'd rather have a bunch of 4-drops, which are all really solid and can kind of work early on or in the end game. Or some 2-drops and 1-drops so I can play stuff earlier. But this is just awkward. Okay, well, we'll play our Golem here. Or Scarlet Crusader. Well, the Golem I think is the better pick because the Scarlet Crusader is vulnerable to Earthshock. The Golem is not as vulnerable to any particular card a Shaman could have. Theory says, I think the most impressive thing I've seen so far in FTL Advanced Edition is someone taking down the Mothership on hard mode with the shieldless stealth ship without buying shields along the way. Wow. That's pretty sweet. I never was able to beat the game with that stealth ship. It was a little bit too difficult for me. Alright, well my opponent drops a Grizzly. You can see how good it is here holding up against the Golem. So we've got a couple of options. I could actually play the Sun Cleric that I just drew and just beat the Grizzly down that way, or I could Soulfire it. Well, let's actually do this. It's a good minion to drop down. And then that, I think if I weren't doing that, I'd probably have played Felguard and Soulfired. But I'd like to keep the mana around because I do need, to play Darkscale Healer next turn. Ferox Verbis says, my best faceless combo is on turn 10 with Warlock deck. Leroy Jenkins, Power Overwhelming, and then Faceless Manipulator. Ah, that's hilarious. So that's 20 damage to the face from nothing. Alright, here the Loot Hoarder should kill the Shattered Stone Cleric, I think. Yep, so he gets a card for that. Makes up for the card disadvantage of my Golem killing his bear. And he's got another bear for this Golem to chomp on. Look how good that Golem was. Oh, he's going to coin for a totem? Or for something else? He's going to coin for a totem. I don't agree with that play. I don't generally think you should coin for totems. But anyway, he goes for it. So I could play the Darkscale Healer. But it really doesn't help. The Golem would get healed up and then still die to the bear. But what else am I doing? Nothing. Ha. Okay, well, I guess we're going to play this anyway then. And go ahead and kill that bear off. And pass the turn. Awkward thing now is the Dread Infernal will kill off the damaged Golem, unfortunately. I don't really like that too much. But I could also play, let's say, like a Scarlet Crusader and a Felguard. And then play Dread Infernal the following turn. Although, Dread Infernal with a Scarlet Crusader on the field also doesn't really work all that well. I might need to play the Dalaran Mage if I need to deal 5 damage, which is possible. I might want 5 damage for Soulfire. Nope, I will not. Will not want that thing. So this Fairy Dragon's perfect. It does just die to the damaged Golem, unless he can throw down another taunt. Let's say Iron for Grizzly for Shizzly number 3. It's gonna Frost Shock to freeze that minion. So that makes a certain kind of sense. Stops me from attacking the totem, the taunt totem, which means that the damaged Golem can't get at this Fairy Dragon. Well, that's fair enough. So, yeah, it seems kind of silly to play Dread Infernal here. This is where the power kind of bites you. So what I'm going to do is I'll play my own Taunter. We're going to play the Dalaran Mage over the Scarlet Crusader, because that way it's a little bit less anti-synergistic next turn if I do hope to drop Dread Infernal. Apparently, according to the chat, there is some crazy new stuff in FTL Advanced Edition. It's not just some minor differences. I haven't played in so long, and I wasn't like a master of the game to begin with, that, I don't know, I might be pretty bad at this new advanced system, at this advanced game. It's going to Hex a Felguard, which means one of two things. Either he's desperate, or he has more hexes. We'll find out very soon, I suppose, which one it is. Of course, now I regret not playing Scarlet Crusader, because I can kill one of these wolves, but not the other. I really want to get at this stupid Fairy Dragon with my damaged Golem, but my opponent is very persistent on making that impossible. Alright, well, let's kill one of the wolves this way. Soulfire on a wolf seems like a waste. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to run this in, like so. Play the Dread Infernal, like so. And then kill the Fairy Dragon with the Dalaran Mage, losing the Dalaran Mage in the process, but getting a 6/6. So we will now find out if my opponent in fact has this, not in facts, in fact has the, well, because he's overloaded from the wolves, and he needs a taunt for the 6/6. The Shamans really don't have any other way of dealing with the 6/6, apart from, like, you know, Fire Elemental plus something else would be the most effective way, I suppose. And what's nice is that we've got decent board presence. Well, as far as drops, this is okay. Everything else is a little bit crappy here. He chooses to use a second Frost Shock on the Darkscale Healer, so that did eat 2 Frost Shocks. Flips a Taunt Totem like it's his job. And okay. Well, let's go ahead and drop the biggest thing I've got, which is that. And we'll waste our 6/6's attack killing that Taunt Totem. So a Lightning Storm would be alright here. Not great. It would kill the... Playing the 50% chance to kill this and the other minions would survive. Blue Elf Thunder says, wow, he drafted 2 Frost Shocks. That is actually a really good point. I'm a little bit suspicious of this opponent and his 2 Frost Shocks. Injured Blade Master, I actually have some synergy in the deck. It's if I get my other Darkscale Healer, that guy will get healed up to Chill Wind Yeti status. Dixie Cody says, MVP indeed. Indeed. Alright, so he drops a Fen Creeper, which will just die, and he flips a Taunt Totem, number 3, folks. Count it, number 3. Alright, yeah, we'll just go ahead and kill the Fen Creeper, keep it simple, keep it safe. Get past this Taunt Totem. I guess we'll kill the Healing Totem as well. I should have life tapped first. Always life tap first, kids. Anyway, we're gonna do this and that. So now a Lightning Storm is significantly more impressive. He's getting coin flips on the Bear, the Blade Master, and the Dread Infernal. Scarlet Crusader is the only thing that's guaranteed to survive. Blue Elf Thunder says Frost Shock should really do 2 damage, then it would be a fine card. Ah, I'm really glad you mentioned that. So there's an interesting thing about Frost Shock. Is it too late? Has it already passed? Yeah, it already passed. Frost Shock can deal damage to characters, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Like you can freeze your opponent to stop them from attacking. Is that right? Let me know if I'm totally crazy, but I believe it can damage characters. So if it cost 1 mana, or excuse me, if it cost 1 mana and dealt 2 damage, then it would be like Arcane Shot and Holy Smite, but with an extra ability. So I'm against that. I don't think that classes should ever have cards that are strictly better than other classes' cards. It's okay to have a class card that's strictly better than a neutral card, but not strictly better than a class card for a different class. Alright, I actually don't have any room on the board for my minions, but let's do a quick check to see if I can win. We got 10, 16, 19... Yeah, I actually have lethal damage here. This is why you should always look for the win. Even when your opponent's at a high life total, you might sometimes be surprised just how much damage you can do, especially with Soulfire. Mary Rose Vampire says, hello everyone. Sorry that I couldn't watch last week. No problem. You owe me nothing. I'm always happy whenever folks can make it. No problem if you ever have to miss. It's totally fine. And we got our first win here with our middle finger at mana 3 deck. Now, Blue Elf Thunder says regarding the Frost Shock thing, mages have Frostbolt. So, mages do have Frostbolt. That is 2 mana for 3 damage with an ability. And that's okay because, like, Druids have Wrath, which is 2 mana for 3 damage, but it also has an ability. It has that extra option. And really, any class that can deal 3 mana for 2 damage is always giving some ability attached. So, Frost Bolt is okay, but Frost Shock, if it dealt 2 damage, would not be okay. It would either need to be 2 mana, but then it would just be stupid. It would just be strictly worse than Frost Bolt. Yeah, that card's pretty much painted into a corner as far as these things go. Ferox Verbus asks, do you think there should be neutral spells? Well, my opinion is no, actually. I like the system that spells are only class-specific because that makes classes feel more special, and I think if you have a game where the classes cards don't feel special, then you're not really designing it correctly. There are plenty of other ways that Blizzard can expand the design space of Hearthstone without having to resort to neutral spells, so I hope they don't go there. Dixie Cody says neutral spells would probably be really wimpy, so probably not. Yeah. Well, there is actually one case. There are actually neutral spells in the game. Funny enough, Elite Tauren Chieftain introduces neutral spells to the game. And technically, you've got things like, you know, what's his face? Who's that guy? Oh, King Mukla. King Mukla, you know, gives bananas. That's a neutral spell. All right. So how much am I concerned about this Warsong Commander? Enough that if I had Soulfire, I would certainly use it. But not enough that I'm going to, like, contort my turn around it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop that there. And we're going to put a Grizzly in the way here. And we'll try to kill the Warsong Commander with this Grizzly. Dixie Cody points out that Elite Tauren Chieftain is a legendary. Yes, that's definitely true. I should have clarified that. It's, of course, a legendary, and so is King Mukla, so it's not like it's that easy to get a neutral spell. Currently, you can only get a neutral spell through a legendary, unless there is some epic card that I'm forgetting about that adds some sort of spell to your hand. Right, so notice he's got the Scarlet Crusader, and it charges, which is frustrating. It's going to leave my War Golem alive, which is the fair decision. And let's go ahead and kill the Scarlet Crusader off. Because I can. And we'll drop our own Scarlet Crusader here. And again, threaten to kill off the Warsong Commander. If I had a Soulfire, it's worth reiterating, I would totally have Soulfired that Warsong Commander. Notice how annoying it is that every card in my hand was 3 mana. If they were all 2 mana, I'd be able to put a lot more presence on the board in this game. I'm keeping on reserve the possibility of Dalaran Mage plus Demon Fire to deal 3 damage. That could be a way that I finally kill off this Warsong Commander if need be. I actually am one of those people who thinks that Fireball, either Fireball should be nerfed or Mortal Strike should be buffed. Because if you pay very careful attention, you'll note that Mortal Strike from Warriors is actually strictly worse than Fireball for mages. So it's a really annoying thing that really bugs me. I think it's inelegant for one class to have a spell that's strictly better than the spell from another class. Well, my opponent has had just enough to hang on and prevent me from getting card advantage against his 2/3. He's gonna get a 1 in 3 chance of killing off this Scarlet Crusader. Hopefully not. Okay, that's fine. It lets the Defender of Argus do it, but I'm okay with that. He's actually gonna hit my face, so he's actually putting out some pretty steady damage. Luckily for me, got Siphon Soul, which will heal me up a little bit in a moment. I can't really deal with this knife juggler, or this situation easily enough, so we'll do that. This, and this. So I'm getting a little bit low on health. He could get me down to 12 and then burn me out with weapons, but I feel like I guess we just have to concede the fact that he won the opening. He was able to deal damage to me and answer all my threats. So if he's got the Arcanite Reaper for the kill, then he's got it. But this seems alright. So the Korkon Elite will get to kill my Panda. But I've got a couple of creatures left over here. So the question now is he going to kill my creatures and play fair, or is he going for the face? Alright, he seems not to think that he can burn me out, so he's going to go for a fair fight. He's going to shield block and draw a card, that's fine. So yeah, I'm a little bit hurting here. He's got a big life advantage, I can't, a big life advantage, I can't life tap as much as I would like. I don't have anything to do here. Alright, well, let's life tap. Oh no, there's no use for that owl. I am in very serious trouble here. I've got equal cards to my opponent, but the life situation is pretty severe. Boba says, I think that Mortal Strike should be 5 or 7 damage instead. I agree. I think it would be a totally fair card that way. I never noticed it for a long time that Mortal Strike was strictly worse than Fireball until someone pointed it out. And then I was like, oh yeah, that should totally be fixed. And then a whole bunch of people downvoted me on Reddit, and I was really grumpy about it. Alright, he's still continuing to fight fair, which is good. I'm happy about that. Please give me something I can play. Oh no, well I can't play that. I have to Siphon Soul this 6-drop. And I'm not going to life tap here, because if I life tapped, I wouldn't be able to play the card anyway. So I'm not going to life tap unless I absolutely need to. At this point. So he's got 5 cards to my 4. I can catch up a bit with life tap, but that's tricky. Alright, this is actually really irritating. I can deal 5 damage with Shadow Bolt, which is not enough to kill this thing. Am I gonna have to 2 for 1? I could play Cold Night Oracle. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and do Boulder Fist Ogre. And much as I hate this, I'm gonna 2 for 1 myself. So this Ogre's gonna have to go to the distance. It's a little bit of a stretch. Warriors can definitely answer an Ogre. That is one way to do it, although I have an Owl for the Epic Silence, so I will be able to unfreeze my Ogre. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so do I play the Cold Light Oracle this turn? Oh god, that doesn't seem good at all. Jesus. Okay, no, I'm not going to play the Cold Light Oracle. We're going to do Life Tap here. Oh, interesting. Well, let's unfreeze that. Kill the Frost Elemental. I could either play this to make my Ogre a little bit more survivable, or I can play the Molten Giant. I'm going to play this thing. I think that the difference between 2 and 4 is significant. Saves the Ogre from Fiery War Axe, saves it from Cleave, saves it from Whirlwind and Elven Archer or whatever. So I feel like that was worth doing. He's got an Arcanite Reaper. Is he going to go for the face, or is he going to fight fair? That's always the question. He's going to fight fair. He's going to kill my minions with it. That is totally fair. Alright. So, let's see. Shattered Sun Cleric makes no difference. After this kills the Senjin. Well, actually, it does make a difference. What am I talking about? Of course it makes a difference. Okay, so, should I life tap here one more time? No, because I've got stuff to do. I mean, I could life tap and still play the Molten Giant, but I'm not going to use the card. And so I really might as well just Get this down. Start to hit him and then play another giant. Okay, I might be able to catch up with that giant. If he doesn't, if he can't burn me out, I should be fine. Dixie Cody asked a while back, is it true that you can use Sacrificial Pact on Jiraxis? That is correct. Nat says, late, but I'm here. Hello, Boris in chat. Hello, Nat. Good to see you. Ah, he slams the Molten Giant. That suggests he has an execute. Or maybe he was desperate and fishing for one. Does he really not have an execute for that giant? Oh my gosh, it looks like he doesn't. That's crazy town. Alright, Cold Light Oracle. Yeah, it's gonna have to happen. Okay, can I actually win this turn? We got 8, 11, 13, 15 damage. No, I can't win. So what we'll do though, is I'm gonna play Felguard. Dalaran Mage. Swing, swing, swing. I'm not gonna commit the Soulfire to his face just yet. I'm gonna pass the turn. I think I win except if he has Brawl. Brawl would let him win this game, but anything else, and I should be able to win. Well, anything else other than like extremely particular combinations of, like wacky combinations of cards. Because I've got a Taunt to protect myself from losing, and it's really difficult for him to destroy this and this, and enough of my other stuff to stop me from just being able to Soulfire him to death. And Blue Elf Thunder asks, can you Sacrificial Pact the opponent's demons? After being told yes, Blue Elf Thunder adds, well, that's kind of broken. Well, I don't know if it's broken, because there's just not that many neutral demons, if you think about it. The only, like, neutral demons are, like, the imps that are made by the Imp Master. And, I think some legendary card is a demon? Is there even... I don't remember if there's a legendary card that's a demon. But really, there's just not many neutral demons, or any neutral demons, for the most part. So, you're really only ever going to have it come up if you're facing another Warlock, and I think that makes it relatively fair. And Boba confirms. He says, you're unlikely to ever use it on any opponent that isn't Warlock. Now, if Hearthstone had a sideboard, then that would be a more relevant card. If you were a Warlock, you could sideboard it in against other Warlocks. But to be perfectly honest, I actually think the card is just bad. I think Sacrificial Pact is just a bad card. It's not just bad like in terms of its being weak. It's badly designed. Because if you ever do, as a Warlock, put Sacrificial Pact in against other Warlocks, well, the other Warlock would be putting Sacrificial Pact in against you. So it's just a card that Warlocks only ever use against other Warlocks. It just seems really stupid to me. I wish that design space had been used for something a little bit more interesting. Alright, well, we'll mulligan the Siphon's Soul, even though it's our only out against big things, because we need to try to get some drops. The Owl I am keeping because I would actually play this on turn 2 as a 2/1 for 2 mana. It's awful that way, but I might still need to do it, just depending on how fast my opponent is. Soulfire, alright. Well, I'm not going to play an Owl on an empty board. We're just going to life tap here. This is a little bit awkward. I can play the Scarlet Crusader on turn 3, but then the Panda doesn't drop on turn 4 because I'd have to replace the Scarlet Crusader back into my hand. It's got a 3-drop here. Is it a good one? It's an Unbound Elemental, so yes, it is a good one. Luckily, Soulfire is a pretty good card. Shadow Bolt also good, but I think tempo is important here. I'm willing to lose even a good card to just have the tempo. Okay, so the Darkscale Healer, a bit sad about losing that one. I would have rather lost the Owl or the Panda, but at least I've got a Scarlet Crusader here, which will inhibit some things he might do. And I've got a Shadow Bolt for some extra removal if need be. Stormforged Axe, good card, but not that helpful here against the Scarlet Crusader's Divine Shield. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm actually just going to do this. I'm going to swing there, and I'm going to put the Panda down. Let's get the Scarlet Crusader back in the hand. That's a little bit greedy, for sure. But that Scarlet Crusader dealt 6 damage to the opponent before returning. And now I've got a 5/4 in play, which will kill Yetis. Not that it matters, because my opponent only has 3 mana because the Stormforged Axe is Overload. He's going to play a Berserker, which will just die. Alright. Sen'jin is a good drop. Do I kill this Berserker? Do I fight fair? Or do I hit him in the face for 5 damage? Do I fight unfair? I'm going to fight unfairly. I'm going to do this. Because that's a lot of damage. 5 damage is a lot of damage. And I don't want to pass that up, because there's a chance I'll be able to deal with this normally anyway. Ferox Verbis is totally correct! Illidan Stormrage is a neutral demon, that is correct. Illidan Stormrage, that is a neutral demon, so that is one that you could kill with the Hearthstone Sacrificial Pact. So if Illidan Stormrage ever becomes a hot metagame item, people might start running Sacrificial Pact. Alright, so he didn't have an answer for the situation. Let's again consider whether it's worth it to hit him in the face or actually destroy his minions. So, let's see, I could drop the Wolf. Note that Shadow Bolt cannot target the opponent directly, but I could drop the Wolf and hit him for 10 damage down to 9 health. 9 health. The Dread Infernal would take him down to 8 health. I don't know. But I've been told. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hedge our bets. I'm going to kill the Imani Berserker. I could drop the Wolf and have the Brewmaster trade against the Drake. I am aware that the Owl can actually silence the Drake. But I'm going to hit him in the face with this. And we will just play these 3-drops. These are the two really, really good 3-drops that are hard to deal with. So I'm safe from Lightning Storm. The Drake will kill the Senjin, but then the Axe doesn't get him anywhere. He's got a Totem. It's not Taunt. If it were Taunt, I could have silenced it. Wolf Rider, decent. Lets the Drake kill the Panda, which is actually really good for him. And he's got a Forked Lightning to not do much. I thought he would actually have hit the Scarlet Crusader. Then he concedes. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing there. He was alive. I was only going to hit him down to 9 health. 7 if I used the Wolf. Whatever. That was a weird game. He should have kept on playing. Or maybe, you know what it was? He should have hit the Scarlet Crusader with the Stormforged Axe, because it was going to hit him anyway, and if it's going to hit you anyway, you might as well kill it. So I guess maybe he forgot to do that, and then got frustrated and rage quit because he forgot to attack. I don't know what was happening there. There, says, reminder, if you haven't killed an enemy Drax with Sacrificial Pact, you haven't lived yet. Yes, I'm undead, clearly. Alright, so 3 wins, the third one being a little bit weird. Up against a Druid. I'm not a big fan of playing against Druids as a Warlock. With their hero ability, they can resist your burn potential. And I'm actually going to... I don't know. They would be a bit greedy to keep the 5-drop. Let's mulligan that back. They also can deal a little bit of damage to you, which hurts because you're damaging yourself. So they're kind of... The Jack of all trades works out pretty well against you. Alright, we got a Panda here. Let's see what he plays on turn 2. This is going to be an important moment. He does have a drop. He's got the Ooze. Okay. Since he has the Ooze, I'm going to Quinn into Harvest Golem. If he didn't play anything, I would have just played the Tidehunter. I don't like the fact, though, that he can shapeshift, kill the Tidehunter, use the Ooze to kill the 1/1, and then I've got nothing. Ferox Verbis says, I've been Harrison Jonesed with my lord. Oh, ouch. So for those who don't know, Harrison Jones is a legendary that destroys your opponent's weapon and draws a card for each point of durability. Lord Jaraxxus starts out with a 3/8, and even if he attacks in the same turn, he still has a 3/7. So you can lose your weapon and then have your opponent draw 7 cards. All right, he is going to Wrath my Golem. Does he have a way to finish off? Oh, for 1 damage. What? What? Oh, gee, what? I don't know what that was, folks. You think you've seen it all, and then that happens. I have no idea what that was. I do not understand why he did that. I guess he was just cycling a card. But that's dumb. He should have just used his Ooze to run into the Golem, and then he could have killed off the Golem. I think my opponent did things in the wrong order. I think what he intended to do was to use the Ooze to kill the Golem and then Wrath to damage Golem and draw a card. Instead, he did what he did. Okay, so we have a 4/6 to deal with. It's a pretty good card. Luckily, so is the Pit Lord, so we're going to do Pit Lord here. If there were a way for me to kill this, by the way, I would have. It's just that I can only deal 5 damage, and this thing has 6 health. So Druid of the Claw, very good. But note that it was innervated out, so if I use 2 cards to kill it, I'm actually doing fine card advantage-wise. Dixie Cody says he did it for science. Yeah. I am going to stick to my theory that he just did things in the wrong order. Because if you run your Ooze into your opponent's Harvest Golem and then Wrath to finish off the damage Golem, that's totally 100% fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, well he's getting some pretty good drops here. The Yeti is... It would die to the Pit Lord, but the Druid of the Claw protects the Yeti from the Pit Lord, and the damage golem doesn't hit hard enough to kill that thing. Can I get some removal? I cannot. I will play this, though. Yeah, we're going to play this guy. Gotta do it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and kill that thing. A swipe would let him clear my board here. But that's just because... You know what? I should have played the Pine-Sized Summoner, because this would make me a little bit less vulnerable to swipe, clearing my board. Does he have a swipe? Oh, jeez. That was a mistake. Mustard Mitt says, nowhere near Mind Vision into Moonfire, my favorite Hearthstone moment. Yes, that was a really great moment. I think actually what made it over the top. So for those of you who didn't see it, this was like Hearthstone ballet. A little while ago, I had it on the arena. I was a druid playing against a priest. He played turn 1 Mind Vision, stole my Moonfire, then Moonfired me in the face, and then on turn 3, he actually played Northshire Cleric and healed the damage that he dealt with Moonfire, presumably not realizing that, of course, Northshire Cleric only works when it's a minion that's healed. So Siphon Soul, a good card, not relevant just yet though. Will I throw away my entire board to kill his board? Well, let's draw a card first. Like a good player. If I had gotten Soulfire, that would have changed my plans, but I didn't. So we're just going to go ahead and trade my 2-drop for his 3-drop, which looks bad, but is actually fine. Clear out everything. Okay, so we're equal on life, but I'm ahead on cards. I've got a minion on the board, and I've got removal for a big thing he could drop. So actually, I feel pretty good about this. The only problem is if he plays a lot of little things, I can't actually deal with that effectively because my 3-drops are weak sauce. Although I am getting a lot of spell damage after I drop these Dalaran mages. Gonna have a Soulfire for 7 damage? If only. If only I could draw it. Well, this is actually annoying. It's a 5/5, so it's just good enough. But I can't really deal with it effectively. What I'm going to do here is make a little bit of a tech play. We're going to hit him in the face for 4. We're going to Panda back my Azure Drake and drop Pine-Sized Summoner. So the idea here is I don't want to lose the Drake to this for absolutely no reason. So I might as well have the Panda, which will actually kill that thing. Now, the thing will actually kill my Pine-Sized Summoner, but I'm okay with that because I'm ahead on... I'm still doing fine on cards even after you drew 2. And now you played this worst card in the game, he's going to go down a card here. So I'm okay with going 2 for 1, and the Pine-Sized Summoner is doing me no good, so I might as well just play it. I'm going to Mark of the Wild on that. Well, that is a little bit silly unless he has removal, because I have 7 combined damage, and this creature was going to 2 for 1 anyway. So unless he has a Claw to kill off the Pine-Sized Summoner, unless he has a Claw with this last mana, he doesn't. Well, that was just a waste. That was a complete and utter waste of Mark of the Wild. That's quite remarkable, actually, that he would just do that. Alright, well, I could Siphon Soul this thing in order to get at the Knife Juggler, but that seems a little bit silly. So what we're going to do is we're going to replay the Azure Drake to see if I can get Soulfire, which is what I've been wanting this entire goddamn time. Nope! Not a chance. Alright, we'll kill that and think... Is it worth it to Shattered Sun Cleric to make this a 5/5? That seems kind of silly. This will die to Knife Juggler plus Shapeshift. Yeah, alright. Since the alternative is bad, we're going to do this. Get a slight upgrade on our creature. And then hopefully use this to trade against the Knife Juggler, though of course anything can happen. If he drops a really... I was hoping for an Ironbark or an Ancient of War, because then Siphon Soul would have made sense to use. Chillwind Yeti, also a little bit too small for Siphon Soul, and he gets lucky, he hits the Shattered Sun Cleric. Ah, okay. So there we go, that's actually worth using Siphon Soul on. He actually didn't leave himself with enough mana to Shapeshift. Interesting choice. So the Shattered Sun Cleric will get to kill the Knife Juggler. The Azure Drake will get to kill the Yeti. And then I got a Siphon Soul for this. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm doing good. Soulfire. Tasty. Okay. Change of plans. Change of plans. We're going to do this. Then we're going to heal up. And we're going to 6 damage Soulfire this... Possible for the throwing of my Siphon Soul. Ah, that hurts. And then I'm going to hit him now. The reason I'm hitting him is otherwise he gets a free kill on a Dalaran Mage. So although this allows him to Shapeshift and kill that, or swipe and kill it, I feel like it was worth it to protect the Dalaran Mage. The fact that I lost Soulfire Really sucks. Okay, please, can Mad Bomber not be ridiculous? Oh my god, it's the last barrel. 2 in the face and 1 on the minion he wanted to hit. God, seriously? Seriously, that was ridiculous. Frickin' Mad Bombers. Luckily, he's almost out of cards, so as long as he doesn't have an Ironbark Protector back there, I should be okay, but losing Siphon Soul did hurt a lot. He's got an Azure Drake, that'll die to my Darkscale Healer. Well, the Darkscale Healer will then die to Shapeshift, so that's still actually pretty good for him. Crap, I'm in a little bit of trouble now, actually. Ah, this presents me another target for my Darkscale Healer. Okay, we'll do this. Do I play Dread Infernal here? That would let me kill off the Mad Bomber. That would make this die to Shapeshift. I want to get a 6/6 on the board, though, so we're going to do this. Do that. Do I play one of these? It'll just die. I could life tap and flame imp. I'm not going to life tap, though, because I can't use the card this turn. And since I am taking so much... I just took 4 damage to myself there. I'm going to leave life tap alone until I really need it. God, that Mad Bomber killing my Azure Drake was so bad. He would have either had to, you know, shapeshift to kill that thing and not do something else, or I could have had a 5/1 here to kill off his Azure Drake with. Oh my gosh, I left him with an Azure Drake. Well, I couldn't have killed it very easily. No, I should have killed this. You don't want to let a druid stick around with spell damage. Swipe would be terrifically good here. Starfall and Starfire would kill the Dread Infernal. Yeah, I screwed up. I should not have left him with this Azure Drake. Ferox Verbis says, I just thought, if you play Wild Growth on 10 mana, you get a card draw. So I think if someone plays an Arcane Golem on turn 10, you should get the same card. What do you guys think? Well, I disagree. And the reason I disagree is that you're getting an empty mana crystal with, well, hang on. Maybe that's not a good reason. You're getting an empty mana crystal with Wild Growth. That's why that gives you a card. You're also getting... you're not getting an empty mana crystal, are you? I think you're getting a full mana crystal with Arcane Golem. Now, the fact that it's full doesn't matter because, it's not your turn at that moment. But you're still getting a full one, and that's the distinction. If you get an empty one, that's where it gets you an extra card, because you can't have empty ones beyond 10. But if you get a full one, then that can actually replace one of your previous ones. So that's why the Arcane Golem doesn't give you a card. And why, like, Nourish and Innervate don't give you cards either. And Blue Elf Thunder confirms that Arcane Golem does not give an empty mana. Okay, yeah, so that is why, rules-wise. Anyway, the Darkscale Healer was pretty great here. Healed up my Dread Infernal, stop it from dying to Shapeshift and Swipe. The 7/8, though, will eat 2 of my creatures. Still leaves me with 1 creature, though, so if his last creature's not good, he could be okay. This move I actually don't agree with, because it's going to die before it can draw him a card. I would have actually held on to it and waited to see if I can get a card off of it. I feel like that would have been worth it, because we're in a top deck situation. He should hit me in the face with this golem, by the way, because I have to kill this golem. I don't have enough damage to kill him. I got 10, 14 damage. He leaves him with 10 health, so I have to kill this thing or else I will lose. If he hits one of my minions with this, I'll be pretty happy. Actually, wait a minute. No, I realize it now. The correct play is actually to hit the Darkscale Healer. That's what it is. Oh, no. This is a 4/5. No, there's nothing. There's no way. I'm going to keep a minion no matter what. So he's going to hit me in the face. Fine. Alright. Soulfire, that's really, really good. So what we're going to do here is play the Dalaran Mage. And although this looks a little bit funky, I'm going to actually Soulfire this. Because that way I get to keep a creature. I'm a life tap here. I've got enough health that I can do that. Ironbeak Owl. Ugh, well, that's lame. I'm going to swing there. I'm not going to play the Owl. There's really no point. It's for a 2/1. Blue Elf Thunder asks, why would you pick +2 mana over the 3 cards for Nourish? Great question. You would do that if you are innervating the Nourish on turn 3 or turn 2 if you have a coin. That is when that would make sense. But which is admittedly a very rare circumstance, it must be noted. But there is a time. Like, it's not like never. There is a time when it makes a lot of sense. And Boba notes, I did it he almost did it yesterday. He was holding one of the trees with +5 health, and then or attack on turn 5, the Ancient of War. Yeah, that certainly is tempting. All right, he is hanging on by a thread here. I have to be a little bit careful with my life tapping. Shadow Bolt. Oh my gosh, Dalaran Mage MVP. Do I life tap here? I can life tap one more time. I wouldn't life tap if he had any more cards, but since he doesn't have more cards, oh god. Whatever. Alright, I didn't get a playable card, but at least I can kill that thing. Swing, swing. I'm really vulnerable to swipe. I've been vulnerable to swipe this entire time. He can clear my board with a swipe. He's got 4 cards, which is a little bit scary. At 11 health, I could definitely die if he's got the right cards. It's also worth noting that the 2 mana crystals it gives you are full, so you can actually use them the turn that you play them, which can be a little bit helpful. Alright, it's going to Mark of the Wild that guy, which is awesome. That's a good Mark of the Wild use. Oh gosh, is he going to... Okay, I thought he was going to Panther up to get this guy +1/+1. But I do have this Ironbeak Owl that I've been preciously holding on to, so I should be fine. He's going to kill the Scarlet Crusader. Okay. So we've got a pretty good turn here. We play Ironbeak Owl, like so. Demon Fire with this epic spell damage. Kills that like so. Pull that Oracle, kills that like so. And let's drop an Ogre here. What's going on, Ogre, here? A lot of folks are reiterating in the chat that they've never picked the crystals. I still think, though, that it's good to have the crystals there. Like, it's a good card. Like, yes, it's situational and won't likely come up very often, but I like the aspect of the card, because there are definitely times where it'll be helpful. Alright, I've already thrown away Siphon Soul, so I can't kill this except for the old-fashioned way. And unfortunately, it means that my opponent does get a card. But that's life. We get a lot of stuff here. We're relatively safe from swipe with this 3 health, 4 health, 2 5 health creatures. He's actually almost out of cards. Holy crap, I wasn't paying attention at all. This turned into quite the grind. I didn't even feel like it was a grind, but apparently the game turned into one. Well, it's a little scary. You don't want to be a Warlock in a fatigue war with the Druid, because his hero ability helps him in 2 ways, by healing himself and damaging you, and your hero ability obviously is completely useless, because there's no cards left to draw. Well, I won't be live tapping anymore, that's for sure. Blue Owl Thunder chimes in, MVP Ironbeak Owl. Yeah. Did we fight a rare Druid with no swipe? It looks like it. He did not have a swipe. Alright, so how much damage do I have here? Do I have enough damage to kill him? 6, 9, 12, 14. I have exactly lethal damage to kill him with. So he will hit this, but it still dealt the damage. So yes, I have exactly lethal. Alright, almost out of cards. The wolf would have helped if I didn't have lethal damage. We're not going to be bad-mannered, though. Let's just go ahead and kill him with the MVP Dalaran Mage. My god. First with the Soul Fire, then with the Demon Fire, clutch, spell damage there, and we got our 4th win. Alright, so 4-0 is pretty spectacular, but I have to say, this deck doesn't actually feel that good. So I have a feeling it's not going to be like a crazy thing. However, I've never gone like to 12 wins on the stream, so I would like to do that someday. That would be pretty nice. I'm eating Warhead Sour Jelly Beans, which is a candy that I was introduced to by my girlfriend. These are amazing. They're just sour enough, and they're so flavorful. Okay. Let's keep the cheap removal spell. Fish for our other drops, and then fail to get them. At this rate, I'll be coining out the panda on turn 3. Ironbeak Owl. Not the 2-drop I wanted. Okay. My opponent has a slow start as well. I get this guy a turn late, which doesn't really matter that much. I wouldn't have, if I'd played it on turn 1, I wouldn't be revealing it now to attack anyway. I'd like to trade it for something. Hopefully then there's no incoming Fan of Knives. There is a Raging Worgen. Oh, that's annoying. That's a pretty good card here. This guy doesn't kill it. I don't have any Mortal Coils. Owl doesn't help. Demon Fire would be a 2-for-1, so that'd be stupid. Well, let's see what I get. If I'd kept Soulfire in my opening hand, I'd be in better shape. What we're going to do here is an extremely lame play. I'm actually going to attack. I'm going to coin into the Panda to put this back into my hand. I just got nothing else to do. So next turn I can Demon Fire, maybe. Owl, maybe. I mean, otherwise it's just an Infiltrator play. The Panda is really good though, because it'll kill Yetis and it'll kill Senjins. It will not do well against comboed Eviscerates, however, which my opponent in fact has. So that is extremely troubling, because I really wanted this Worgen to die, and it didn't. Now I don't have any good plays. God. Felguard? Okay. We're playing Felguard, folks. It means I can't play the Darkscale Healer next turn, but I just need to play this thing. I need to play that thing down. I have nothing else to do. If that had been a Senjin, I couldn't have dropped the Worgen, but then I wouldn't have lost a Mana Crystal, so... yeah, it's fine. Man, we're 3 turns away from Siphon Soul. That is painful.
So many options.
She has another buff. That is the worst thing that could have possibly happened. She put a 4/4 down, killed off my 3/5 that I invested so much in. I'm just really screwed now because I'm a mana behind, I'm life behind. It's just awful. Everything's terrible, and no one loves me. Alright, so this is not really playable. It does just die to the Dark Iron Dwarf. So we're going to life tap here. Hoping for what? I don't even know. And I'm going to 2-for-1 myself against her biggest creature. This is a nightmare. Blue Elf Thunder notes that Felguard is better dropped on turn 10, because the battle cry would then be meaningless. That is totally true. But in that case, I was just desperate. And of course, she has a really good drop, because of course she does. Oh, she has another one too. That's terrific. Well, I'm in a lot of pain here. The Darkscale Healer soothes me a little bit, but she can only do so much. I actually have lots of good cards to draw, but I'm probably going to lose this game in a way that you frequently do. If you're falling behind, and then you have all the good 6-drops in the world, it just makes no difference. Siphon Soul is only 1 card. It would be my entire turn. I can't kill anything. I can't kill everything fast enough. I never saw any Hellfires. So here's where we really struggled. It was really the curve, just not giving me anything to play, and then my opponent having stuff to play, with a little bit of removal thrown in. So yeah, this is probably over. She can use the Yeti just to run into the healer. She's got plenty of health. She can finish this off with the dagger. Leaves all 3 creatures alive. She spent no mana. She then proceeds to play more stuff onto the board, and I'm pretty screwed. Now, I guess Dread Infernal will bail me out a little bit. Nope, not anymore. It would have killed off the Yeti and the Abusive Sergeant, but not anymore, because now the Yeti survives with 2 health. The only thing that dies is the Abusive Sergeant. I think we're actually going to just lose the game. Is she even going to bother killing this? She's not going to bother killing it. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. Alright, we'll draw a card and concede here. There's really not much point in playing on. Shattered Sun Cleric. Ugh. I always say I'm going to draw a card and concede, and then I get like the one card that like makes me think twice. Yeah, no, this is over. There's nothing going on here. Alright, let's drown my sadness in candy. That was well played. Oh, I need to click to keep on going. Right. Handful of cards. None of them was Hellfire. Therefore, no difference. Actually, even Hellfire wouldn't have saved me. I would have built 3 damage to myself. She would have needed only a few more turns with the dagger to kill me.
Gul'dan versus Valera.
Fire Madness the Rogue. I cannot tell if this is the same rogue or not. This hand is much better, though. We have the Infiltrator on turn 1, Life Tap on turn 2 with the potential for Soulfire, and then the Blade Master on turn 3, or I can coin the Blade Master on turn 2. Options, options, options. Well, having 2/3 drops inclines me to coin the Blade Master out. She daggers up and sits on it. Okay, we'll play the Blade Master. I'm not going to attack with this. If it were a mage or a druid, I would actually attack, because then the opponent would have to spend 2 mana to kill it. However, this rogue would have to spend no mana to kill this Infiltrator, so there's really no point in attacking her. She's got a Harvest Golem here, which is very effective, unfortunately. Ah, well, good option now, better than the best option later. Silence that up, kill it, swing. And now there's a lot of things she needs to kill with this dagger. If she has Fan of Knives, of course, she wins the game, but I'm not going to play around Fan of Knives when I'm trying to get a foothold in the game. No Fan of Knives. This is a very good card, unfortunately. She gets to kill this guy. What? Oh, I don't agree with that move. I don't agree with that move because she could have daggered that guy and then this thing would have actually survived against all my stuff. Huh, interesting. Alright, we're not going to play Felguard here. We're just going to play the Dalaran Mage. And I'll use the Owl to kill the Knight because, of course, otherwise it would just add the dagger. So the opponent did get some card advantage there. She's got 6 to my 5, soon to be 6, and I'm the second player, so I should not be behind. But I'll catch up a bit with the Azure Drake. This is actually really good to see because it'll just die to the Dalaran Mage. So that's fine. The Fairy Dragon is a little bit annoying. But, hang on, I can actually play the Felguard to hold up against the Fairy Dragon. And then play the Azure Drake next turn. And I can also Life Tap. I'm going to Life Tap, actually, and do the Felguard. Pit Lord, where have you been all my life? And why didn't you stay there? Alright, we're going to do this. Can't Soulfire that Fairy Dragon. It cannot be targeted by spells. But this thing actually might survive. And then I can play Azure Drake and Soulfire for 6. Well, there's not that many things I would want to Soulfire, actually, for 6. A Boulder Fist-Ogre has 7 health. Other things... Alright, she's going to backstab. Does she actually have an elegant solution, or is she just 2-for-1ing herself? She's just 2-for-1ing herself. Alright. Well, she still has her full 6 mana for the turn. Ah! Alright, well, that'll die to Soulfire. She has Fairy Dragon number 2. Okay, this is fine. So what we do here is... Shadow Bolt. Unfortunately, I don't have anything else to do with 2 mana, so we'll just play the Azure Drake for a card. Soulfire is actually a little overkill. It's dealing 6 damage. Throwing away the other Dalaran Mage, which is fine. That's probably my worst card at the moment. Alright, so now she can kill the Dalaran Mage with the Fairy Dragon. But if she does, this Azure Drake lives. Or she can use the Dragon to hit the Azure Drake and use the dagger to finish off the Drake. But then the Fairy Dragon dies. Let's see how good her 7 mana is. It is actually pretty good. So now the Fairy Dragon trades and kills the Drake. Unfortunately. But at least it dies still, which is good. How good is her 4 mana?
Drink with me, friend.
Not that impressive. And she gets to remake the dagger, I presume? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do here is choose to go for quantity over quality. Let's play the Panda to protect the Dalaran Mage. Let's play the Golem. And we're going to swing for 1 damage. The Panda will hopefully just trade for the Grizzly. I did not play around Betrayal. I should have left the Dalaran Mage in the middle to play around Betrayal. That was a mistake. Ah, it's so annoying. A few folks are noting in the chat that Constructed is a little bit of a soul-killing experience because it's all the same decks over and over. I will say this. yes, it's true that at high levels of constructed that is the case, but at low levels of constructed, it's not really that the case. Like when if you go into the junk leagues, you know, there's actually like a lot of variety when people are just playing their own wacky stuff. So I feel like it's actually fine until you get to the high levels, but most people don't get to the high levels, so I'm okay with it. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and kill that off. Gonna kill that off. There is, of course, a risk to playing Pit Lord. I mean, the damage that I just dealt to myself is severe, considering my opponent has 9 damage in her hand. But she's also low. I mean, I've got 8 damage here, plus a giant coming down pretty soon. So I feel like I should be okay. As long as I don't, like, panda this Pit Lord and replay him, I'm fine.
Just me and Mr. Fight.
This is an alright card. And, alright, she's swarming the board here, which is actually pretty good for her. Luckily, she's playing fair. She's just killing my stuff. Well, I will play fair in return. It seems only, as they say, fair. The panda, unfortunately, can't really be played right here. I could, of course, play Molten Giant, but I don't want to get this taunt in, so I'm going to play the taunt. I wish this thing had 3 health so I could attack something and then panda it back. Alas, that is not to be. Let's go ahead and kill off her best creature. Let's kill off one of her other ones. I'm not going to life tap here, it's a bit dangerous. And I probably wouldn't be able to use the card I get anyway. So we're just going to leave that alone. Senjin is very good against the ringleader and his bandit. Oh no, she sprints! Well, the good news is, unless she got an Eviscerate, there's not many things she could play here that would be super relevant. But that was obviously very good for her. She gets another bandit. Oh my gosh. Well, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. So she's going to hit this engine and then finish it off. There's a little bit too much on this board for me to feel super comfortable ignoring it, I have to say. Ah, Dark Scale Healer. That's nice. So do I hit her in the face? Can I play the Dark Scale Healer and a Molten Giant? I don't think I can. Leaves me with 3 mana. If I life tap, yeah, it's the same deal. If I play this thing gets more expensive. Oh, man. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to make a risky play. I'm actually going to just play a Molten Giant. And I'm going to ignore her stuff and hit her in the face for 5. So basically, my plan here is I'm threatening to kill her. She shouldn't be able to kill me. I mean, it is possible she could. She has 9 damage here, so I'm at 7 health. 7 is a little bit difficult to kill with 5-card hands, but it's possible. But I'm going for the kill here. I really need to make her answer this giant, either with a sap or with an assassinate. The Drake, I don't really care about. It doesn't do anything. She would need to have like an assassinate, a sap, or a defender of Argus for me to actually care about what she's doing. A lot of folks are mentioning in the chat they like to play casual. I think what I'm going to start doing is play in the ladder casually, like not really trying to get up to legend, because that's just such a grind, and it's difficult. I'm not sure I'm good enough to be able to pull it off. But the reason for that is I want to make some progress to those golden hero portraits. I know you have to get 500 wins with the class, which is like ridiculous, and it'll like happen in like a few years if I'm lucky with one of them, but I want to make some progress because I think that Blizzard will someday make it easier and then piss off all the people who ground for it to get it earlier. So I want to have some progress going towards that achievement, since I feel like it's going to be possible someday. Alright, she is not going to hit me in the face. She's going to go ahead and clear out my stuff. Does she have an answer for that Molten Giant? Oh, she actually doesn't. Interesting. Alright, well, she has a taunt, of course, but alright, there we go. Soulfire is the answer that is needed. Kill that thing. It explodes. Molten Giant. I mean, any way of killing that would have won me the game. Therio says he loves playing his Deathwing Turbo deck into a bad player does nothing but overextend. Ah, that's funny. Deathwing Turbo. I assume Alarma bots are involved. Or maybe, oh no, definitely, like maybe, is that a Druid deck with Innervate? I guess that would also work. Deathwing was one of my first legendaries. Never did put him into a deck and play with him, though. Seems like a fun card, but not a very good one.
Victory or death! Your soul shall shall be mine.
Dario says no alarm bots, those are garbage. Fairly spoken, sir. Fairly spoken. So I kept that hand because it's a good curve. The only thing that would have made it better is a 1-drop. But can't have everything.
I smell blood.
Ah, I see. So Deathwing Turbo from Theriu is a Warlock deck with Summoning Portal and the Pint-Sized Summoner. I see. That is pretty nifty. And in quite a thematic fashion, the Deathwing then kills the things that helped him come into existence. Alright, is he going to reveal that Infiltrator? I'm doubting that he would. He does reveal it, actually, to trade away for half of my card. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play the bear. And think if that Worgen is worth soul firing, or just try to trade the bear for it. Problem with soul fire is I don't want to lose Senjin. But I'm going to do it. I think it's just too risky leaving this alive. And I lost the Senjin, because of course. That hurts a lot, because Senjin would have been amazing next turn. And now I have to settle for the Blade Master, which is not nearly as good.
May my ancestors.
Well, he has a terrible drop. This thing is pretty abysmal to drop in front of a Grizzly, so that's nice. Okay, we're going to make a little bit of a tech play here. We're going to go ahead and do this, and this, and I'm actually going to play the Panda, put this Murloc into my hand. Might replay him later for 1 mana, might not. Oh, it's a 0 mana. Whoops! I did not realize this was actually 0 mana. I should have replayed it right away. Well, anyway. Wanted to get this down versus the Blade Master, because a 5-4 is much better than a 4-3 at this stage, especially when Senjins and Yetis could be dropping down from the opponent.
Try this.
So the Weaponsmith is decent. So the Axe is obviously nice. It'll kill the Grizzly. And after my guy kills the Weaponsmith, it'll kill my guy as well. Or I could hit him in the face. What makes you think about this? Okay. I have enough mana to life tap and play a 3-drop, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to life tap, see what I get first. Oh, I would love to play Senjin. Well, we're going to kill this thing off. Really wish I could play Senjin here to protect my guy. Gonna play the Blade Master. Gonna play the Scout. And we're gonna pass the turn. So hopefully he doesn't have a Whirlwind. A Whirlwind would kill this, drop this to 2, and he'd kill it with the Axe. That would actually make me lose the game. Execute is a card I also don't particularly want to see, because this guy's ready built to die to Executes. But as long as he doesn't have that stuff, as long as he just uses the Axe to kill this Panda, I'm totally fine. Because I've got the Shattered Sun Cleric to buff this up, and this can provide the extra point of damage if needed. Ferox Verba says it's not a Murloc, it's a camouflaged wisp. That's true. It's equivalent to a wisp, except it's better than a wisp. It's strictly better than a wisp because it has the Murloc type, which can sometimes be relevant. Okay, no Whirlwind. That's good. Does he have Execute for this guy? He's got a Stormwind Knight, which is not quite good enough. Gonna kill off my Murloc here. It's fine. I don't really mind. Alright, that's a good drop, so we'll do the Senjin. I will fight fair. I'm gonna kill that thing. Play Pint-Sized Summoner. Its ability may actually be relevant, depending on what I draw. If I drew a 5-drop, it would be relevant. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be relevant. Okay, so it's a pretty good card. Let's let him kill off Senjin. The issue is that now I can start hitting him in the face freely. Ah, this is pretty cool. Let's see. Life tap. Yep, I will life tap here. Play a Felguard. And I'm actually going to play Shattered Sun Cleric cheekily to make the Felguard survive against Arcanite Reaper. So my opponent's pretty low on health. Got a little bit of burn potential with this Wolf, assuming any of my minions survive. Arcanite Reaper's not good enough. Got a taunt to protect my other stuff. I think I'm doing pretty good here. Earlier in the chat, Mustard Mitt made an interesting comment. He said, I prefer Constructed. I know my deck's well enough to play them well. In Arena, I just pissed myself off by playing unfamiliar cards badly. Yeah, you really need to like watch a lot of people playing Arena to learn what like every card in the game does, or else it's really difficult. My opponent just played vanilla creatures, which is what you always dream of when you're threatening the kill, as I was. So that is the game. I think it's pretty clear that if you're going to make a deck with Angry Chicken and Wisp, you also need to put in Alarmabots. Because that way, if you Alarmabot a Wisp, you don't need to play the Wisp on your turn, which stops you from triggering your Pine-Sized Summoner ability and using it up. You want to make sure that you can get the Wisp onto the board without wasting the Pine-Sized Summoner's ability for the turn. Ferox Riba says, Wisp is kind of useless, but Angry Chicken can be good. Look up Mad Scientist Chicken on YouTube. Yeah, I heard that was a really cool deck. I've never watched it, though. I am convinced, though, that it is possible to have a deck with Wisp being good if you use it as a coin for Sea Giants. Because that's basically what it is. And I'll keep this, sure. It's basically like a coin for Sea Giants, and I have a feeling it's possible to make at least a decent casual deck where you have Wisps in there. As long as you can provide one other use for Wisp, you're fine. Like maybe if it's a rogue deck, and you have the Wisps triggering combos as well as helping make Sea Giants, like that's good enough, I think. Right, let's go ahead and coin out Pine-Sized Summoner. This is actually not irrelevant. I could play a 3-drop on turn 2 if that survives. And if he kills it with Claw, Wrath, or Moonfire, well then, you know, he kills it. Alright, Loot Hoarder is a good answer to this. So I'm going to play the Grizzly to protect my interests. Now, at this point, he could still shapeshift and kill the Grizzly with the Loot Hoarder and go a card up. But he'll be falling behind on tempo, so I'm hoping that my tempo advantage will suffice. He's going to Innervate. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's really not good. He's going to actually make a Charger here to kill the Grizzly and then use the Loot Hoarder to kill that off. That is annoying. No joke about that. So you just got some massive card advantage there, and I drew both Soulfires in the same hand. Oh, screw my life. Okay, I think I'm probably going to lose this game. I just don't see how I'm winning this at this point. It would have to be incredibly lucky. Oh, he has the Owl for the Scarlet Crusader. You know, as they say, that's the fuck icing on the shit cake right there. Good lord. Good effing lord. Oh, Ascension, that would have been nice to have at the start of the turn. This would be nice to have if I were starting the turn with it, or if they both had charge. As it is, it's just gonna die. Demolisher? Great. Glad that happened. Glad that happened. He's actually playing very cautiously here, which is quite interesting. Alright, we need to kill that Demolisher. I can either use Shadow Bolt, but then I can't do anything else, or Soulfire. So, I'm gonna drop this thing. Soulfire. Anything I lose is bad, so whatever. Lost Ascension. Okay, it was all bad. There was no good outcome in that particular situation. Boba says, Innervate into Alarmabot for turn 2 Ysera. Yes, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? Maybe that would be worth making a deck just so you can, like, pull it off one time. Like, you'd lose all your games, but one time you pull it off and it's all worthwhile. I wonder how many tries it would take.
My shield for Argon.
That is extremely depressing. How good all of his turns have been. Even though they don't even need to be good. He doesn't need good turns anymore. He can have bad turns and still be fine, but no. Just keeps having good turns. Like a meanie face. Ding dong. The Drake is dead. To shapeshift in the head. Oh, is another Druid of the Claw like one of the best cards you could possibly have? Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Dread Infernal, huh? This would have been good if I still had a spell damage so that this would die to 5 damage, but unfortunately, at 4 doesn't quite work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play Senjin. We're going to just 2-for-1 ourselves here against this Druid of the Claw. Losing Shadow Bolt. Good. I can Demon Fire that. Alright, well, he's got 6 cards to my 2. But I can kill one of them with the Senjin, maybe. And maybe if he plays like 3 Angry Chickens, they'll all die to Dread Infernal. So that could be good. Yeah, we're fine here. We're totally fine. Starfall, no! That sucks. Please play stuff that dies to Dread Infernal. Oh, he actually did. That actually does die to Dread Infernal. Alright, great. So, I'm not going to life tap here, I don't think. Because I can't use the card right away, and I really need to be careful about my life usage. I'm not going to life tap. Pit Lord, just what I needed. Here's where a Chillwind Yeti would have just been better than this epic card. Another Ancient of Lore, because he needs some more cards. Oh my god. This is a disaster. Okay, here we go. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die this turn.
Where shall I start?
Yep, that's lethal. This guy had 3 Druids of the Claw. That's annoying. Alright, so we're at 6-2. Arena life on the line. Trying to make it to 7 wins with a pretty mediocre Warlock deck. That Druid, though, had nothing but gold the whole time. Not to take anything away from his victory, just that I don't feel too bad about losing that game. I had a pretty good curve myself, but he had a better one. So, that's life. Anyway, I hope I win this game. That would be nice. I actually am a little bit above 50%. I've had a pretty crazy streak on my channel. You should check out some of the last couple of entries if you haven't yet. Pretty crazy streak. I'm up a little bit above 50%. Like 50.01 for making it to 7 wins. And this would actually give me a little bit more of a buffer if I could win this next game. Otherwise, I'll drop back down to 50%, which is also fine. Alright, Paladin. Really wish I had Mortal Coils here. We have a curve, though, which is not as good as Mortal Coil, but still decent. I don't want a Dalaran Mage early on. If I've got a Golem, I don't need that Mage. Okay, this is what I really wanted to see is 2 2-drops. Yes. Perfect. So I hope he passes on turn 1. That's really important to my interests. Please don't play anything. Thank you. So now what we can do is coin into Murloc Tidehunter. This is a very versatile play. Now, this is a bad card, but against Paladins it's alright, because if he makes a Recruit, you can use the Scout to pick it off. If he makes a real creature, you can use the Wolf to kill it. If it's a 2 toughness creature, you... Oh my god. Oh... No! Why is it always the last barrel? Oh my freaking god. The last barrel. I would have been fine if just that Scout had lived. I could have used the Scout to kill the Mad Bomber, but nope. Oh, and he's got that. Wow, this game went south in a motherfucking hurry. Good god. Oh my god. Well, I could actually still win this game. I mean, Pit Lord's pretty big. But... oh my god, I can't believe what is happening. I literally can't believe it. Literally. He's actually going to throw both of them away to get cards, which is actually fine. So he's not coming out that much ahead there by doing that, but he's getting rid of all of his board presence. So let's just go ahead and do this. The Outdoor Peacekeeper on the Wolf is shockingly good. It protected his Mad Bomber, and it stopped me from killing the Cult Master. He also said thank you, like thank you for putting a Scarlet Crusader down so I could get cards off it with my Cult Master, because he's a dick. Oh my gosh, if I lose this game, I'm gonna be so mad. Does he actually have an answer to this to stop it from killing the Doomsayer? How's he gonna... oh, I see. He's just gambling I don't have an extra point of damage. And, oh, an extra 2 points of damage.
Justice.
Oh no, he's not even killing my wolf. He's just, wow. That's weird. So I see what he's doing. He's making me give him a card off of the Doomsayer. Okay, that makes a certain kind of sense, I suppose. I don't have damage, unfortunately, so I have to throw both my cards at it to protect my interests. Giving him a card. I want to get more stuff on the board rather than less, so we're going to play this and this. And if he has a Consecration, then he has Consecration. So be it. I'm falling a little bit behind on cards, but my board presence is pretty good. Okay, I'm falling a lot behind on cards and on life. My board presence is good, so he's going to be in trouble if he can't clear things up pretty soon here. Boba says make him overdraw. It's the only logical remaining option. I could try for that, but he's got enough cards. I'm not going to get him onto fatigue, and if he throws cards away, it's not that big of a deal. He's going to throw away the recruit, get another card. Well, he's done the card thing pretty well. That's a fact. All right. He's got an owl. What's he going to silence? The wolf? Well, that was a misplay. Oh my god, I'm going to be a dick. Hang on, am I going to be a dick? Let me actually say thanks. Because silencing this wolf restored its power, allowing me to kill the Cult Master with it. And it is worth it to kill the Cult Master just because I need to stop this from hitting me for 4 damage a turn. So we're going to kill that. I will actually kill this off as well and hit him for 5. So it's a bit slow. I could have dealt more damage to his face, but I can't really race him. I need my minions to be good. I need them to stick. Bo says kill the owl first, do it, sorry. I could have actually made him, yeah, I'm sorry, I would have made him throw a card away. That actually would have been the correct play. I apologize, I missed it. Right, you gotta be kidding me. It's an incredibly good card here because I can't race it because it's gonna kill me fast. But I can't kill it effectively either. God, that's so good. Ventrico headquarters. At it again. Alright, we're racing. It's the only thing I've got left. Should I Soulfire this thing? Or should I wait for the soul? I'm gonna hold the Soulfire for his face. This is bad. I'm very likely to lose at this point, but I think that was the move that maximized my chances. At least he can't suicide this thing, so he can't play more minions. That's a good thing. Blue Out Thunder says Cold Light Oracle would be godlike here. That actually would be hilarious. Because it would be a 2/2 for 3 that draws me 2 cards and gives him nothing. He's actually gonna play this, which is fine. It's a vanilla card. I don't really care. Is he gonna kill minions or is he hitting my face? He's hitting my face. Well, he loses the game, folks. I have enough damage to kill him here. He left himself at 1 health. I guess he figured those were his best chances of winning. Luckily for me, Soulfire's a pretty good card, so the Paladin... I'm gonna give him a well played to be played at the end. I should have said thank you for sucking. The dick. Okay. That was a little harrowing, but we got to 7 wins. Phew. He probably calculated that if he killed the Pit Lord, that I would have raced him out. Man. That was a tense game. Good way to make it to 7 wins. Alright. Next worthy opponent is... a mage. I was just thinking it was time to play a mage.
You asked for it.
Your soul shall be mine.
Okay, against the mage I'm not going to keep Pit Lord. The rest is good though. I would like to see another 2-drop, of course. God, I'm so happy I beat that Paladin. Not only because he was a total dickbag, but because he had a mad bomber. That would be just the card for a dickbag like him to play. Blue Elf Thunder says that was one of the rare games where you could have made your opponent overdraw. Yeah, I don't often get that situation, so I wasn't fully considering the possibilities there. Fairy Dragon, huh? Well, with that, I'm going to go big or go home here. I'm going to actually coin into a Golem. Try to kill off this Fairy Dragon with the Golem for great justice. It does cost me my coin, but I feel like it was worth it. Alright, she's going to run in, play Mana Worm. Ah, Lord. Kill off my Golem, because she's an overpowered mage. Well, that's that. Oh, Scarlet Crusader, pretty good. Glad I drew that card. I was going to play Dalaran Mage otherwise, but this will at least kill the Mana Worm. Of course, the Mage being overpowered will be able to Fire Blast this thing to death. Or worse. But I still am pretty happy to be able to kill a Mana Worm off. And she's going to kill off my Scarlet Crusader. Fair enough. So now, we have a choice. I can play Senjin, which is the obvious choice, but this could be worth considering because I might not be able to play it later. I'm going to do Senjin, though. Stops her from getting any damage on my face with Mana Worm, and I like that. I like keeping my life total nice and high against mages. Okay, so here we got a couple of options. I could kill the Drake with the Wolf. I could also kill it now with the Shattered Sun Cleric. Ooh, I like that. The reason I like this is that by giving it an extra health, I prevent it just from being trivially Fire Blasted. And we're early enough in the game that we can drop an extra creature down without worrying too much about overextending. Although Cone of Cold would be pretty good for my opponent here. We're a turn away from Flame Strike. I guess Blizzard would be really good. Ah, Blizzard would have been really good there. Luckily she didn't have it. Okay. She uses the Wolf Rider to kill the Senjin, so the Senjin killed the Drake and a Wolf Rider. She can now kill off my minions. She's going to choose to kill off the Wolf, which makes a lot of sense, of course. Alright, I have a couple of options. I can kill the Mana Worm, and then I could either play a pair of 3-drops, or I could play the Panda and draw a card. The Panda would protect my Shattered Sun Cleric from certain doom at the hands of Fire Blast. Let's do that. Yep, so we're going to life tap here to get a card. Whoa, first we have to kill this Mana Worm. Then we're going to go ahead and play the Panda. And put the Shattered Sun Cleric back into my hand, where it could be useful later as a buff. Pit Lord is actually still playable. I could play the Pit Lord and the Felguard, for example, and have a really, really, really shockingly beefy board that, of course, I paid a mana crystal for and some health. She pings, it looks like, my face. No, she pings my minion, which is a safer play. She figures they're probably going to trade, but that makes a lot of sense. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and actually drop these crazy guys down. And I will trade her minion off for mine, not only because my guy died to Flame Strike, but because her Panda would have actually killed the Felguard and lived to tell about it. Alright, we have a pretty beefy board. These both survive Flame Strike, so she can choke on all of those for all I care. If she plays a big minion, I do have my Siphon Soul. Otherwise, if she plays a ton of little stuff, my board is not super impressive. So I could be in trouble. Oh, Water Elemental. I actually want to Siphon Soul that. That's how good Water Elemental is. Or I could silence it. I can start dealing 8 damage. I could also Shattered Sun Cleric and hit that thing dead. That's probably the right move. Okay, I'm not gonna life tap, I don't think. Let's do this. Kill that thing. Swing for 3. And play my most expensive minion. I don't want to life tap. I've got plenty of cards. Gotta be a little bit careful with my health against a mage. It's gonna silence my taunt. It's gonna... Oh my god, she made the worst miss... Wow, that is the worst misclick I could have possibly conceived of. Holy crap. Not only did she not silence the taunt, allowing the Gnomish Mentor to kill my Shattered Sun Cleric, but she actually silenced off the freeze, making this able to attack when it otherwise wouldn't have been able to. That is really quite remarkable. Holy crap, on a stick. Well, let's go ahead and do this. this, and then this. We'll now swing for 5 damage, and sure play Pint-Sized Summoner. Wow. Well, so the freezing thing here let me deal basically 5 extra damage to her, which is a pretty big deal. There's another water elemental. Lord, I'm a frickin' pony. Alright. You do what you need to do. Alright, so I want spell damage so that Demon Fire would kill this thing, and I don't have it. I could silence this Taunter. That would allow me to deal 11, 13 damage? It's not really enough to make that worth doing. Okay. Let's life tap here. If I can get a spell damage, that would be great. And I do. Okay, so we're going to play the Azure Drake. This allows me then to Demon Fire for 3. And I'm just going to hit her in the face on a relatively clear conscience. There's a lot of power on this board. So she has to watch it. Flame Strike would let her clear the board if she were willing to sacrifice the Water Elemental for the Dread Infernal. Then I could refresh with Cold Light Oracle and then some other stuff depending on what I draw. Okay, that happened. Does she have a Frost Nova to freeze my team while she starts collecting fireballs? Frost Nova would be godlike here. It would freeze my team, stop me from attacking, give her a fireball. She has a Frost Bolt. Okay, so she can freeze that and she can kill that. But I'm still able to deal, 6 damage. So let's actually play Cold Light Oracle here. Wait a minute. Nope. That would be dumb. Let's just kill her. Yeah? Killing her seems pretty good. Okay, well the mage made a really grievous misclick, so we got to beat Archmage Leonidas. I'm not sure she actually would have lost if she hadn't clicked correctly, because then she could have kept her polymorph around and used it for a better target. Oh god, I'm dropping jelly beans. Dropping some jelly beans. 5-second rule. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the other jelly bean? There it is. Okay. That one's going in the trash. More than 5 seconds. Alright, another Paladin. Hopefully this one's more polite than the last one. I'm gonna keep the Demon Fire, it's cheaper. And keep a bear just in case. Okay. This behooves me to play a Tidehunter. Although I'm not thrilled about losing my coin. This will let me kill the Abusive Sergeant and any recruit he might play on turn 2. Ferox Verba says, make it rain, boys. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a real player. I make it rain Warhead Sour Jelly Beans. You know how I do, bitches. Alright, he's gonna hit me in the face, so this guy's being a little cheeky. Well, if he's gonna be cheeky, he's gonna pay for it. So I'm gonna Demon Fire that thing. So it's a card for a card. Kill his recruit. So I've got a minion on the board and he doesn't. And I didn't go down cards to do that. So I feel like that was pretty good. For me. Harvest Golem. Well, it's a pretty good card. I can't kill it, unfortunately. There's no way I can kill it. So I'm going to have to content myself with playing the bear. Notice how this bear, I mean, it's pretty good. It's protecting my creature from this Harvest Golem's wrath. Of course, Hammer of Wrath or Truce of a Champion would clean that right up. Got a Defender of Argus, which, well, it works in a different fashion, but that also works pretty effectively for him. Okay, well, I don't need the taunt here, so I'm just going to go ahead and play a Pit Lord. And sure, let's get rid of that Harvest Golem. So I don't like the fact that he has 2 minions on the board here. Blessing of Kings would be pretty terrific. I'd go so far as to say he'd be on track to winning the game if he had Blessing of Kings right now. But if he doesn't have that, I could be okay, potentially. Is he going to just ram everything into that Pit Lord? I wouldn't mind that. That would pretty much justify the Pit Lord if that's what he did. Alright, he rams everything into the Pit Lord. Okay. Fair enough. Let's drop Senjin. So, Dark Iron Dwarf or Abusive Sergeant would be great for him here. Let him kill off my Senjin. But even if he does, this Divine Shield would get popped. And then I can play the Dread Infernal. So he finds another way of killing this engine. Still, though, the Divine Shield gets popped, which is the important thing. Alright, well, Dread Infernal is pretty solid here. So it kills off one minion, pops a Divine Shield off another. And he's pretty low on cards. I'm a little low on health. But he needs a pretty good turn very soon, or else he's going to be in trouble. Well, that's pretty good. That'll damage me, and it'll damage this. Alright, so he gets to use the Scarlet Crusader to finish that off. Luckily, that was his entire turn. And, well, I can play Molten Giant now. You know what, though? Well, yeah, I'm going to play Molten Giant. Let's play Molten Giant. Let's play the Wolf. So the Wolf will die to the Crazed Alchemist. That's fine, though. I just want him not to hit me anymore. I want to make sure I don't get burned out this game. And I've got a Boulder Fist Ogre as well, so we've really got some serious endgame here. He needs to have an answer for this Giant pretty soon, I'd say. Goldshire Footman. Wow, that's something. He's going to draw 2 cards, so that was an Arcane Intellect, not the end of the world. It's worse than an Arcane Intellect because he had to commit a card first. One trouble I'm going to have is actually mopping up his recruits. It's going to be difficult for me to do. He's actually going to Consecrate just to kill that wolf, huh? Interesting choice. I'm not sure I agree with that. Well, oh, I see what he's doing. He's just racing me out. He's racing me out, folks. Which is smart. Because he can get me down to 9. A True Silver Champion almost wins him the game on the spot. Mustard Mitt says, is it just me or is ramming everything into the Pit Lord an unfortunate turn of phrase? No, it's not just you. Thank you for noticing that. Leper Gnome is going to deal an extra 2 damage to me. Is he continuing to race me out? He is. He's just going all the way for the throat here, which is totally the correct move. Flame Imp is not playable here. I wish I had spell damage so the Soulfire would kill Lord of the Arena. Crap. Yeah. I have to do this. And then I might as well get the Leper Gnome over with. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna throw the Flame Imp away. I don't care about the fact that I'm throwing Flame Imp away because I was never gonna play it anyway. A True Silver Champion would threaten to win him the game. The only way I could stop it is if I had Taunt. I have no oozes here. So if he gets a True Silver Champion, I'm in a lot of trouble. He has a Demolisher and a Stormwind Champion. Oh, that's really good news for me because I can actually deal with this. Soulfire, huh? Okay. So can I win? Let's check for that first. We have 14 plus 5 is 19 damage. 19 plus 4 is 23. I could fish for the win. That's not the right move. Alright, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna Soulfire this Demolisher. I'm not gonna Life Tap because I don't want to go down any further. We're threatening the kill here now. We've got 13 damage. He needs an answer right here. And that's it. Wow, that was close. 2 very close games against Paladins. One of them was polite, or at least quiet. The first one was a dick, but we're up to 9 wins. This might be the rare stream arena that actually goes beyond 9 if I win the next game. Well, it'll definitely be the rare stream arena that goes beyond 9 if I win the next game. But it might be the next... Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, folks. Ramming everything into the Pit Lord, an unfortunate turn of phrase. Oh my gosh. That should be my next stream title. Papa Boris, Hearthstone Arena. Ramming everything into Pit Lords since 2014. I'm always paranoid about the game crashing now that that's actually happened a few times. All that Chaz says, hiya Boris. Hello Chaz, good to see you. We are, as you can see, 9-2 with the Warlock. This is the first run of the day. We were at 6-1, and then 6-2, and then won 3 games in a row. So, booyah. Now, obviously, if the Pint-Sized Summoner on turn 2 lives, I can play one Senjin on turn 3 and the other on turn 4. The odds of this, however, are very small, so I'm not going to keep 2 4-drops. Well, I replaced the 4-drop with a 6-drop, which is sad, but, that's okay. Blue Elf Thunder says, I don't get it. What's so funny about it? It sounds vaguely sexual, which should surprise no one. Anytime there's something and you're not quite sure why it's funny, probably sex. Well, the fact that my opponent is a mage sucks for two reasons. Number one, she got like one of the dumbest one-drops in the game, and number two, she can kill Pint-Sized Summoner with her hero ability. As it is, she's not even going to have to do that. She's going to get to play a 3-drop and use the Mana Worm to kill... Oh, God, this is just terrible. This is all terrible. Well, Senjin's going to be great. Unfortunately, I can't play it. Alrighty. Let's life tap it up. And we're going to Soul Fire this Imp Master, because I think it just needs to die. And when we throw away the Senjin, are you goddamned kidding me? Well, whatever. We made it to 9 wins. It's pretty good. If we're going to lose a stupid game to Mana Worm and poor Soul Fire discards, that's totally fine. It's all good in the hood. Oh, he's got a bear. Okay, well, so the bear will kill my wolf. I don't have a Senjin to play, which would have been freaking amazing here. Scarlet Crusader, not quite as good. It'll die to Fire Blast, or she can just use this imp to finish it off. Oh man, really, the icing on the cake there was the throwing away of the Senjin. Now, what might actually happen, depending on how my opponent plays this Dread Infernal could be really, really good. But she's actually going to use... No, she's going to use the Imp and Fire Blast. So no, the Imp's going to go away. Oh my gosh. Everything is terrible. I'm already below 20 health. Can't play the Pit Lord. Okay. Well, that's life. So she can actually get me down to 12 right now. She can get me down to like 7 if she had a Fireball to the face. Oh, I cannot play Dread Infernal because... that would enrage the Berserker. Oh my gosh. The comedy is ceaseless here. Alright, Felguard. Let's go ahead and kill that. Play Felguard. Lose a Mana Crystal. Doesn't really matter too much at this point. Okay, I'm hanging in there. I mean, she's got 7 cards to 5, soon to be 6. The fact that I'm down a card, you know, after drawing... while second player is pretty bad. I can maybe kill the Senjin with the Felguard, and then maybe play Dread Infernal to kill the Mana Worm. Lots of maybes going on here. If she has removal for this, either Polymorph or Fireball, I'm in really bad trouble, because Fireball this... Oh, Water Elemental! God. Alright, well, this Felguard did its job. I guess it looks like it's going to hold the fort here. Demon Fire with no spell damage. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna do this. If I'm going to lose a game, I might as well at least have this experience the satisfaction of killing the goddamned Water Elemental. So now she can Fire Blast this with her overpowered hero ability, and then I can play Dread Infernal and kill the Mana Worm. Maybe she'll just Fire Blast and play 5 Angry Chickens, and then we'll just wipe her whole board and win the game. Yeah? Murloc Tidehunter? Come on, you know you want to play a Murloc Tidehunter. No, not that card. Oh, that's not a card. That's not the card you were supposed to play, Mage. Okay. So anyway, this was a 9-win arena, which is pretty good. I haven't had a good run like this in a long time, actually. My last week's stream was pretty weak. I had like 5 and 4 and 4. But here it made it to 9, which is pretty great. And that's that. Oh, Blue Elf Thunder Notes. I could have actually buffed the Felguard with Demon Fire. That might have been smart. I might have wanted to consider doing that. Anyway, she's going to go all the way for the face here. Okay. I'm going to go out in style, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go out in the best kind of style there is. Pit Lord to the face. Boo! Well, I think I'm going to post this one to YouTube. This one's a pretty good one. So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Please like and or subscribe. If you're here live on the stream, let's check out our prizes. 9 is unfortunately 1 win shy of the point where I would be guaranteed to not get any non-golden commons. But as long as I don't get any non-gold commons, I'm pretty happy with the prize. Okay, gold common, happy. And 175 gold, 50 dust, totally cool. We're gonna go ahead and open our pack. Blue Elf Thunder notes, you never seem to consider buffing demons with Demon Fire. That's true. In my defense, that's almost always really bad. So I haven't had enough practice with that card to really get in the habit of looking for those few cases where it might be good. We get 40 dust from Disenchanting. And we also get 50 dust from this Cone of Cold. And yeah, I'm about 12,000 or 13,000 dust away from where I need to be. Since it is coming up on 1 o'clock here, Hearthstone time, I really better get some breakfast or blunch. However, let's go ahead and put up a poll before I go. I'm going to be doing either Warlock, Hunter,